She was Bob Fosse's third wife and favorite leading lady, and she could do it all: dance, sing, and act.
His depth of creation was truly enormous. It was not just dance steps off the top of his head. It was a whole picture.
Make my bed and light the light. I'll be home late tonight. Leave the perch and take the sky. Toodaloo, farewell, bye-bye. Blackbird, won't you go fly, little blackbird, bye.
When you see 2.5 hours of his work, you have to come away overwhelmed by the true inspiration of the man and his capacity to take us into so many different worlds, both of the comedy and very serious and dramatic world, dealing with ironic expression, because he had his own particular view of the world.
Nicole Fosse, daughter of Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon, initiated this project along with her mother. Anne Reinkin, a celebrated Fosse dancer, one-time companion, and one of the stars of his pseudo-autobiographical film, All That Jazz, is also committed to preserving Fosse's work.
Through dance and song, Mr. Fosse has touched upon so many emotions, big ones, little ones, old ones in between, and he gave them equal importance.
I wanna be free as any bird can be. Yes, sirree. I wanna leave my footsteps on the sands of time. If I never leave a dime, I'll dance tonight with footsteps on the of rhythm and rhyme.
Bob Fosse lived his life in the theater. That's where he came alive. And he used the language of vaudeville, of entertainment, as a metaphor for life. No one else did it quite as extraordinarily as he did it.
Mr. Fosse and see he's terribly influenced by vaudeville. He really loves ballet, loved Balanchine, loved Fred Astaire and hoofing, and the great vaudevillians, and all of that is in his work. And it's right up front and right up center and done with great pride. Okay, good. Would you have time to get back around the other side?
Okay, 20 minutes to break.
Barely. Yeah. Okay, let's go to where you come in. Let's just see what you guys do.
There isn't any dancing in the world that is quite so sexy as being in any Bob Fosse number. He learned from everybody. He learned from Jack Cole, isolation, that thing, one shoulder, the arm, the hip, only that thing moves.
And that sentimental favorite, World War I.
I don't think he set out to do this, but he developed a real distinct style and a real way of dancing, and it was real jazz, but it was refined and fluid and tastefully done. A bump never was a grinding bump or a rude bump. It was always a dainty bump.
His dancing was meant to be humorous, irreverent, sexy. It was all of those things, but if it was sexy, you didn't play it sexy. Whoa! Now, everyone should move like one giant animal. Bob Fosse always wore hats. Soft hats, derbies, always. And he always said the reason he did that was because he started going bald at age 17. So he constantly had all kinds of hats, or this.
Mr. Fosse said that one of the reasons why he had gloves on is because he didn't like his hands, although he did more hand work than any other choreographer I've ever worked for. It's why everything was turned in and kind of, you know, crooked is because he was turned in and crooked. He really was, physically. He had a slight bowing of his legs, and but if he could stretch out the best of anybody. If he had to, he'd somehow enforce this long line that didn't really belong to him, but he would just somehow stretch it out, and he would look good, he would look long, he would look elegant. But I think it's his maverick quality that gave him his signature. He loved to break the rules, but still be within the law.
Fosse returns in a moment.
The strut, the style, the sizzle, the signature of Bob Fosse. Fosse, 36th of Broadway's hottest singers and dancers burn up the Ford Center now through August 29th. Tickets on sale now at the box office. All Ticketmaster outlets or call 416-872-2222.
Most people see the choreography as an expression of a style. They don't see the passion, the emotionality, the personality, the drama inside all of these dancers. And when you put them together, you really begin to see that.
It really should be a gurney on stage. It's gonna be hard to get it on and off. We should work it out.
But I was thinking, it goes by so fast that the circle. Is there any way we can pull that out just a little bit longer and not have it so spread?
Yeah. Well, no, there's bar rest. There's always hold on to the circle longer.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. They break a little too soon.
They break too soon.
Yeah.
I think that we can fix it if they
Okay, great. The sensuality that Mr. Fosse is so obviously famous for, I think it transcends both male and female. But when he choreographed for men, he did do specific sort of male virtuoso kind of things, and for women, he did do things that were very feminine. He could dance either part. He could be the best woman I've ever seen and not lose his masculinity. And don't ask me how he did it. Say Mr. Fosse was really a masterful teacher. As well as a friend and a director and a boss. He was very generous with his talent.
What are you saying, that you don't go to your right partner?
The guy was, without a doubt, quite brilliant. I used to, just stare at the top of his head and wonder where that came from. How did he get these ideas? It's not just the vocabulary of steps, but how he used them, how he put them together, the general structure.
Steam heat, steam heat, steam heat, but I need your love to keep away the cold. Steam heat, steam heat, steam heat, but I can't get warm without your hand to hold.
5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Fosse was an informed person. Sometimes he would come in and have something very specific, but quite often it would get changed and sort of blessed by the dancer and tailored to the dancer. He always did his homework. Occasionally there were times where he didn't know what to do next. And many times out of that situation came something that went beyond the norm.
They all learned Fosse's style, and they all danced in his style. But he wanted what they could bring to it, their own inner quality.
Quite often, on his darkest hours when he was really stuck, would come an inventive moment. Keep committed. You can never go too far with this stuff. I mean, there's always something else to discover about it. With Mr. Fosse's work, being in the moment is so important, the concentration. And every time Bob did a dance on Broadway, one of the things that seemed to always run in every review was the immense concentration that came out of everybody, and including the ensemble, which was unique.
Choreography used to be so significant when there was Jerome Robbins and Michael Kidd and Michael Bennett and, of course, Bob Fosse. Slowly we saw these people fade away, either through old age or sickness and whatever. One needs to find a new generation of choreographic talent to be able to feed the demands of musical theater.
Theater is dramatizing something, which doesn't necessarily mean that you want to dramatize the life of Bob Fosse. But there is, if you take the body of work, a story that is told when you look at it.
Razzle dazzle, and you got a romance.
One of the things about this celebration, this show, is that it is all heart. And there's quite a bit of endearing sentiment and tasteful sentiment, along with being jazzy and sexy and fun and witty and all the things that we automatically put with Mr. Fosse.
Right to the end, just like a friend, we try to warn you somehow. You had your way, now you must pay. We're glad that you're sorry now.
More from Fosse in a moment.
In this show, an audience will see dance the way it was in late 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s. They will see all of that from Bob Fosse's work, both as a performer in nightclubs, television, Broadway shows, movies. Music's ready to begin. So it will encompass almost 50 years of dance.
Take out your headset, plug it in. What's your answer, John? Are you gonna come on that hottest dancer?
will not find a story in that sense, but they will definitely feel at the end that something dramatic has happened in the course of the evening, as if there had been one.
Yeah, wait a second. We're not going yet.
Take two. We eliminated.
I'm looking for flow. It should be just like, you know, almost one large ballet in 3 acts.
Try and anticipate the changes in, you know, in the transitions and all those little nips and tucks we took yesterday.
But it has to have a real cadence and a flow and a lot of peaks and valleys. So that when you separate them into 3 acts, you really feel that you've discovered the man's in his work. It's a celebration, but it's also a sublime entertainment. And not only can you see a Fosse dance a mile away, but you can hear it. The music always has a tremendous amount of rhythm and percussion.
When Bob Fosse started in the 50s and 40s, when the world was a simpler place, this vocabulary was sunny and wonderful. As we moved into the 60s and the 70s and the world became a much more complicated place, this vocabulary seemed in contrast to the reality of the world. And what Bob did was he used that.
Bob Fosse always said, I want to push people's buttons, whether they like it or not. Because many people could be offended or very uptight about some of the sexual things that he did. But again, he pushed their button. He made them think it because he was very irreverent about what people are supposed to think, supposed to do, supposed to believe. He wanted to erase all of those beliefs that have been imposed on people.
He was prepared to twist the knife a little bit in terms of making the point. There was always an edge to his work, and that edge was so spectacular.
His problem solving and his direction always came out of an emotion. When you're doing musical theater, you're actually telling a story, and the dance or the song and dance promotes the story. Occasionally he would do a dance that was just pure dance, but it still embodied the human spirit, the soul, the heart.
All his life, he had an impulse to do ballet, and he was asked to do ballets, and he always turned them down, and he never did a ballet. And what I think we're doing is the ballet he never did.
He was always afraid of sentiment, but for a man who proclaimed to hate ballads, he was quite tender-hearted, and he, oddly enough, did wear his heart on his sleeve.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I worked for them for 45 years. I don't know how he came up with the ideas, what sparked any kind of creative urge in him. I don't think he knew.
I believe nobody really knows just how extraordinary Bob Fosse's work is. And when you put it together, I think people will be astonished.
He jumped so high and clicked his heels.
It was interesting that he did Bojangles about 10 years prior to the end of his career. But there was a sadness in that moment in the theater because maybe, like all great artists, one projects to the end of their usefulness in the art form that they've chosen.
Mr. Bojangles.
Now, what do you feel when you no longer can do it? When you're broken and you're tired?
Sometimes in the definition of inspiration is absolutely right. It's a gift from God. It comes from another source. But he was very good with his gift. He took care of it. He educated it. He gave it everything he had. And it shows.
Fosse be remembered for his absolutely unique contribution. That his imprimatur on choreographic expression is unequivocal. Once you become familiar with the language of Fosse, there is no question that his signature is very specific and will last forever.